A vending machine takes in about $400 a month. The person who owns it keeps around $100. Everything the internet gets wrong about vending machines lies in that gap. You've seen the pitch a box on a wall that pays you while you sleep. Buy it, fill it with chips, come back to a pile of cash. 2.3 million of them in America, nearly $8 billion a year, and almost nobody working full-time. Free money, humming in a hallway. So here is the plan. By the end, you'll know whether that snack box is the money printer they sold you, or a low-wage second job that happens to own hardware. We'll run the real numbers, what a machine actually costs, where the money truly comes from, the stack of costs that eats most of every dollar before it reaches you, and the $60 million lie that sent its salesman to federal prison. Because the pitch is good, really good. The markup on a bag of chips is enormous. You buy it for 50 cents, you sell it for $1.50. That's a 2/3 margin out of a box on a wall with no employee standing behind it. On paper, it's one of the best little businesses you can buy. So how does $400 turn into $100? That's the whole trick, a stack of costs the guru videos never put on screen, quietly doing the work. We'll pull it apart piece by piece, because on a lot of machines that stack doesn't just shrink the profit, it eats the whole thing. First, though, the part everyone thinks they understand what it costs to get in. Let's open it up. There are really only two questions at the start: what you buy, and whether it's new. A brand new machine is not cheap. A new snack machine or drink machine runs about $3,000 to $7,000. A combo snacks and drinks in the same unit runs $3,500 to $7,500. And the shiny ones, the smart machines with the big touchscreen and the tap-to-pay built-in, the ones in every passive income thumbnail, cost more still. So most people start used. A plain used machine goes for $1,200 to $3,000, call it half the price of new. A refurbished one with a warranty, $2,000 to $4,500. And that cheap number is the one the videos love. I got my first machine for $1,200 bucks. But here is the first thing they leave out. That older machine takes cash only. And almost nobody carries cash anymore. So you bolt a card reader onto it, around $300 per machine plus install. Skip it, and half your customers just walk away because they've got no bills in their pocket. $300 times every machine you own before you've sold a single soda. And one machine is not a business. Run the numbers on a single machine and you'll see why in a few minutes the income is just too small to matter. To make real money, you need a route, 10 machines. 25, 50. Which means that $1,200 entry price was a fantasy. A real starter route, say 10 machines with card readers on them, is closer to $20,000 or $30,000 to get running. And that's before you've paid for the one thing that actually decides whether any of it works the location. So where does the money actually come from? The obvious answer is the spread. And the spread is real. A bottle of water costs you about 14 cents and sells for $1. That's around 85% margin. A can of soda, 49 cents to $1.25. Snacks, anywhere from 50 to 75%. Blend it all together, and a well-run machine makes somewhere between 50 and 70% gross margin on everything it sells. That is a genuinely great markup. That is the part the gurus get right. Now here is the part they don't say out loud, and it's the whole video, so stay with me. That 50 to 70% is gross margin. It's the markup on the product and nothing else. It comes out before a single real cost of running the business does. It is not what you keep. It is not even close to what you keep. And the machine itself, a typical machine in a typical spot, sells about $150 to $400 of product in a month. That's the gross, the whole top line. One machine, in a decent office break room, might move $300 of chips and soda a month. Meanwhile, the guru clip waves around a machine in an airport doing $17,000 a month. But that's not a vending machine, that's a slot machine, and it got cherry-picked to sell you, of course. To be fair, some machines really do print. A spot with a captive audience and no competition, a busy hospital floor, a gym, a factory running 3 shifts, can genuinely clear a few $100s of profit a month, every month, for years. Those locations are real. They're just rare, they're already locked up by operators who got there first, and they are emphatically not the break room down the street that said yes to a beginner. So a normal machine grosses a few $100s a month at a beautiful markup. Sounds fine. Right up until you understand that the markup was never the business. The location was. Because between that gross number and your actual pocket sits a stack of costs the passive income math always forgets. And that stack is where the $400 starts to vanish. Here is the number the guru videos never show you. Watch what happens to that $400. First, the location takes its cut. You don't just get to put a machine somewhere somebody owns that hallway and they want to be paid. A location commission is usually 10 to 20% of everything the machine sells. The good spot's a busy office, a hospital, a university can demand 20% or more, or a flat few $100s a month. So right off the top, before anything else happens, the building takes a slice. Then the payment company takes its slice. That card reader you bolted on charges you around 5 to 6% of every swipe, plus a few cents per transaction. And then $8 to $12 a month per machine, just for the little cellular connection that tells you what's running low. Convenient. Not free. Then the machine itself takes a slice. If it's refrigerated, and most are, it burns $200 to $500 of electricity a year. Stick it in a sunny window or a hot room, and that climbs. And whatever doesn't sell in time simply expires. The candy melts, the chips go stale, the drinks hit their date, and you carry them to the dumpster. That's dead inventory money you already spent, walking straight into the trash. Now stack all of it on that machine ringing up $400 a month. Start with the product itself. The chips and the soda aren't free, they eat close to half of every dollar before you count anything else. Then the location takes its 10 to 20%. Then the card fees and the monthly connection charge. Then $200 to $500 a year in electricity. Then the stale stock you carry out to the dumpster. Run the whole stack, and the honest take-home on a single machine is about a quarter to a third of what it rang up somewhere around $40 to $120 a month. There it is. The machine rang up $400 and you kept about $100. And a slower machine, the kind a beginner actually lands, rings up $150 and you keep maybe $40. That's the switch the gurus edit out. And to earn a real income off numbers like that, say $1,000 a month, you are not tending one clever machine. You are driving a route of 10 or 20 of them, 4 to 10 hours every single week, restocking shelves, clearing jams, and chasing down the card reader that stopped talking to the network. You didn't buy a passive asset. You bought yourself a second job that owns hardware and pays you like one. Which brings us to the $60 million lie. Because for decades, the fastest way to lose money in vending was never operating a machine. It was buying the dream. Companies sold what they called a vending business opportunity, pay us about $10,000. And you get the machines, the product, and the real hook prime, money-making locations lined up for you, guaranteed. The most notorious was a New York outfit called Vendstar. Between 2005 and 2010, Vendstar defrauded roughly 7,000 people out of about $60 million. Buyers got cheap machines and almost nothing else. The guaranteed locations were fiction. The glowing income testimonials were fake, and most people lost nearly everything they'd put in. It collapsed in 2010, and the Justice Department eventually won convictions against more than 20 people. The ringleader went to federal prison. And the scheme never really died. It just moved to TikTok. The modern version is the done-for-you vending pitch pay $10,000, $20,000, and a company promises to place your machines in guaranteed high-traffic spots. The complaint files read exactly like Vendstar machines that showed up late, or broken, or in dead locations, or never showed up at all. The tell is always identical. A guaranteed income number. In vending, the person most likely to get rich off a machine is the one selling you the machine. But you don't need a con artist to lose money here. The quiet failure is far more common, and it's just arithmetic. Say you finance 4 new machines at $5,000 each, bolt a $300 reader onto every one, and because you are new, with no track record and no leverage, you put them wherever somebody will say yes, which means the slow spots. A quiet break room, a dead laundromat, a lobby nobody sits in. Each one grosses maybe $150 a month. Take out the location cut, the fees, the power, the stale product, and some of those machines don't just earn a little. They earn less than they cost to keep running. Now add the loan payment, and the gas to drive out and restock a machine that's losing money. Scaling was supposed to be the fix. But scaling a money-losing route only loses money faster. So after all of that, how much do you actually make? Let's be fair and build a real one. Say you grind for a year or two and claw your way to a 25-machine route in genuinely decent locations. The industry's own numbers put a route that size somewhere between $1,500 and $3,000 a month, call it $30,000 a year on a good one. That is real money. But look hard at what it took 25 separate locations you had to win and then keep, a van and a chunk of every single week spent driving, restocking, and repairing. Divide that profit by the hours, and a lot of operators quietly discover they've built themselves a decent hourly wage for a part-time job, not passive income. And that's the version that works. Most people never get anywhere near 25 machines. They quit somewhere around machine 5 or 6, the first time a whole Saturday vanishes into a restock run that earned them $200. The route pays. The machine by itself never did. And that is the whole secret sitting in plain sight. The only people who ever got genuinely rich in vending didn't own a clever machine. They owned the route at a scale you can barely picture. Meet Canteen. Founded in Chicago in 1929, Canteen is the largest vending and convenience services company in the United States, with estimated revenue somewhere around $2.3 billion a year. And it's no scrappy startup. Back in 1994, the British catering giant Compass Group bought Canteen when it was already the 3rd biggest vending company in America, doing about $1 billion a year with 25,000 employees. That one acquisition boosted Compass's entire global revenue by 114% overnight. Canteen's edge was never a better snack box. It was logistics. Thousands of routes, warehouses, software that tells a driver exactly which machine to refill on which day, and national contracts with the airports and factories and offices a solo operator will never touch. 10,000 machines run like a supply chain. That is the business. The snack box on the wall was always just the meter. The real money was in owning the boring, physical, unglamorous system that keeps 10,000 of them full. So should you buy a vending machine? Sure. Just be honest with yourself about what you are buying. It isn't a money printer. It's a job, a physical, thin margin. Keep the box's full job one that can pay a decent wage if you build it into a route and run it like an operator, and one that will quietly bleed you if you believe the guy selling you the machine. The snack box was never the business. The route is the business. And the route is a job. The only real question is whether you want it.